4 types of personalities at work and how to influence each of them effectively. Have you been in a situation in the workplace where you are in a room full of people? They are senior managers, they are C-suite levels. They have a direct influence on your professional future. And you want to share your ideas. You want to express yourself. You want to be confident. But at the same time, you're noticing that when you are speaking, that somehow they aren't listening, or somehow they aren't buying into your ideas, or somehow the key individual doesn't seem to be interested in what you have to say. Well, in this video, if you watch to the end of this video, you're going to discover the 4 different personality types that you will encounter anywhere in the workplace. No matter what industry you are in, no matter what job level you are at, there are these 4 personality types that keep repeating themselves over and over again in any company. And if you will understand and take the time to understand each of these personalities, you will learn how to communicate effectively and influence them effectively. So in this video, I want to share with you what are these 4 and how do you communicate specifically with each of the 4 personalities. Okay, 4 personalities. The first personality, now before I begin, I just want to share with you my distinction of personality. So what is personality? I mean, intuitively, we kind of know what personality is, but I always think that in order to make the real difference in things, it is important to have true and real distinctions of things that we want to influence, right? And so a personality, the best definition of personality that I can come up with you to explain what that is. A personality is made up of 2 things. It is made up of a person's characteristics, and it is made up of a person's temperament, right? So this is very different. Characteristics are traits, whereas temperaments lead to behaviors. And both of these things lend themselves to an individual's personality. And when you take characteristics plus someone's temperament, that's what makes up a person's state or their quality of mind. Right? And their quality of mind is what shapes their beliefs, their behaviors, right? Their philosophies, and therefore their actions and the way they respond to you. So that's why it's important to understand the 4 personality types. Okay, so let's dive right in. Personality type number 1 is structure-oriented. Structure. So what does this mean? These individuals who are structure-oriented, they tend to like facts and figures. Their minds automatically gravitate towards facts and figures. They tend to see things more in terms of black and white, right? They tend to stick to rules and regulations. They don't like to break rules, right? They don't like to change things. They tend to be a lot more analytical, right? And detail-oriented. Oftentimes, they're very meticulously detail-oriented and extremely precise. Right? But in that case, it's really good to have somebody like that on your team because they're dependable and they're very responsible, right? They have these cross checks and balances. Oftentimes their minds think in terms of flow charts and step-by-step processes. So it's really good to have someone like this on your team. But if you do have someone like this on your team, or if you have someone like this as a senior management, how do you communicate with them? When you are wanting to influence someone who is more structure oriented, the most important thing is to be systematic and to be specific, right? Explain the process because that's how their mind works. If they don't know the process, if they don't know the steps, then they tend not to understand what you're thinking. They tend not to trust your ideas. So be systematic and specific, but explain the thought process. Explain your thought process behind it. Be thorough. Give the details. They want to know the details because they're analyzing. They want to know if it's going to work, right? They want to know what are the steps. So give them the details. And whenever it is appropriate, show them the charts, show them the graphs, especially flow charts if it is appropriate, right? And more importantly, when you're sharing your knowledge and expertise with someone who is structure oriented, don't try to fake your knowledge. Avoid saying that you know something and trying to make up an answer or trying to fill in the gaps when you don't actually know. The best thing to do for structure-oriented people is that if you don't know the answer, say you don't know the answer and let them know that you're going to get back with them. Right? So it's better to be honest in terms of your level of knowledge because they're going to pick up on it and they're very detail-oriented and they're very analytical. And that is how they build trust with you. Is they need to see these things. They need to see your dependability, your thought process, that you are thorough. And then therefore, they will trust you and open up to you. So that's number 1, is structure-oriented individuals. Personality number 2, these are people-oriented. right? So the second personality is people-oriented. And you can suggest, like intuitively, you kind of know that people-oriented individuals are motivated by helping others. They tend to see the emotional side of people, and they're quite concerned with it. They're concerned with how people feel. They're concerned with what motivates an individual. They have empathy, right? They have sympathy. They don't want to offend people. They genuinely want to help people. And they feel at their best when they know that what they are doing, the work that they're doing, the contributions that they are making, the choices and the decisions that they make are genuinely making a difference for somebody else. They value that contribution that they're helping, right? So how do you communicate with people-oriented people? How do you communicate with them? The most important thing is to listen attentively. If they're people-oriented, right, chances are they treat others the way that they desire to be treated. They treat others according to their highest value, which is respect, which is listening to other people, which is being aware of how other people feel. So you want to meet them at their values. Listen to them attentively, right? And because they are in touch with their own emotions, they are aware of how others feel. Tell stories. When you communicate with them, tell stories, and don't neglect the emotional aspects of your story. When you're telling a story, the best way to tell a story is not just to recount the chronological events of your story, but also to hone in on the emotional aspects of it. And this is when they will truly be connected to you and how you can truly build rapport with an individual who is people-oriented. Also, allow them to be in control. Allow them to be in control. Avoid the heavy details when you are explaining your ideas or expressing yourself. They don't want to know the details. They just want to know, is it going to help someone? What's your values? How do you feel about it? They just want to know those things. So avoid the meticulous details. Save those for the structure-oriented people. And most importantly, as you are communicating with them and they are replying to you, responding to you, be supportive of them. Let them know implicitly and explicitly that you will support them no matter what. Right? So that is how you communicate effectively and influence people-oriented individuals, right? And by the way, if what I am saying resonates with you, right, I want you to comment below, because part of learning and implementing what you have learned is taking action on it. It means that you must participate, not just learning this and walking away from this video. You must participate. So comment below. Which one are you? Which one are you? Which one is your primary personality type? And then begin to think, what are some primary personality types that you begin to see or that you have always known, the patterns of other people in your workplace? So I want to hear from you. Comment below. Personality type number 3 are action-oriented. Action-oriented. These people, they are the most comfortable when they are taking charge. They are the go-getters in your workplace. They're risk takers, and they happen to be quite motivated by challenge and results. I want to see the results. They're constantly saying to themselves, I want to take action. I want to see results, and I want to see results now, right? Preferably as soon as possible. And these individuals who are action-oriented, they tend to have a competitive side. Right? And I will say that this is me. My primary personality type is action-oriented. I desire competition. I tend to be competitive, and I tend to be results-oriented, which means that because I'm action-oriented and results-oriented, when I serve my clients, I also like to get them results, and I like to see them succeed, right? Because of course, whenever we communicate to other people, we tend to communicate through our own lens. Right? So how do you communicate with someone who is action-oriented? Really, this is super important. When you are communicating with these people, you got to exude confidence. Exude confidence from within, right? And when you are confident, they will be confident in you. And that's how the lens that they will see through you is if you feel confident and you see yourself as confident, then that is how they will begin to see you. So as you are communicating with true confidence from within, be clear and concise. Get straight to the point, because they are action takers. They don't want to know the details. They don't want you to take them around the bush. They don't want to hear all the background story. You got to get to the point. They're results oriented. So stay in the now as you are communicating with them, right? And tell them exactly what you want to tell them. Respect their time. They're action oriented. They're risk takers as well. So you can take the risk in sharing with them things, but share it with confidence and share it with clarity. right? So if you are hearing this, before I get to personality number 4, if you're hearing this and you want to learn more and you're serious about taking your communication to the next level, if you are serious about taking your career to the next level, maybe you are already an executive, maybe you want to become a director or executive level in your career, but you realize that one of the challenges that you're facing is with respects to communicating your thoughts, your ideas, and your expertise. And if you're serious about this, and you want to receive some coaching and further mentorship on how you can take your communications and careers to the next level, then I invite you to apply for a coaching and mentorship with me. There's a link below this video. In the description below this video, there is a link. Click on the link and it'll send you to an application, right? And I and my team, we view these applications, we take them very seriously. So if you are applying for coaching from me, take this application very seriously, because we review these and we will accept calls and appointments only from people and individuals who are serious. And by the way, this is for you if you want to take your career to the next level, if you're an executive and you want to go to the next level, or if you're a senior manager and you want to go to the next level, then this is for you. This is not for you if you are a student right now, or if you're at the beginning stages of your career. This is not for you. But if you are a student and you are at the beginning stage of your career, then I have other YouTube videos on my channel that speak more towards the individuals like you who are at the start of your career or about to graduate from school, right? So then that is for you. If you are serious, if you're an executive or a senior manager and you want to take your career to the next level, then apply below and I hope to see you on the inside. Okay, so the last personality type number 4 is vision oriented. These individuals are the creators. They're the big picture thinkers and they're big picture problem solvers, right? They tend to be described as scholars. Oftentimes, they're very intellectual. They are constantly thinking. They're constantly coming up with new ideas. They're constantly envisioning an improved future, a better version of a future they want to create. These individuals value learning, they value knowledge and wisdom, and they're constantly engaging to learn new things. Right? These individuals, they tend to be very insightful and they tend to look at the big picture of things, never the details, never the minute details. In fact, the minute details tire them out. And by the way, vision oriented, that's my secondary personality type. Primary is action oriented and secondary is vision oriented, right? And so we have these minds where there's like these deep recesses of our minds. We're deep thinkers, and oftentimes we tend to be retreated, not necessarily introverted, but retreated into our thoughts as we are visioning the future, as we are creating solutions for big picture problems. And oftentimes we're so lost in our thought because there's so much going on in our minds. So how do you communicate with a vision oriented individual? Right? It's really important to avoid the small talk, especially if you want to express your ideas or your expertise, or if you want to pitch something, avoid the small talk. Emphasize the benefits. What are the benefits of what you want to share? If you want to share an idea, if you want to motivate them to take action, always link it back to the benefit of what they're going to receive. And again, as you are speaking, the language that you want to be using with vision-oriented people is in the big picture language. Use big picture language, future-oriented languaging. What you want to do is a technique called future pacing. You are painting the vision of the future you want to create as a result of your idea or your expertise. And that is how you speak with vision-oriented people. So 4 personality types, what are they? Right? The first personality type are structure-oriented, facts and figures. Second personality type, people-oriented, motivated by helping people. Third personality type are the action-oriented. They love challenges. They tend to be risk takers and competitive, but they are action-oriented. And the final one is vision-oriented, always thinking about the future, a better version of the future they want to create, big picture problems. So this is the 4 personality types, how you can influence them at work. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, ring that bell below so you can be notified every time I release a new video.